Hey y'all, happy Tuesday. I hope everybody's having a great day. Sun shining a little bit of clouds, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And it's just crazy how our weather has been, but it is what it is. Yesterday we talked about comparison, and I was in Hebrews 11, which is in my Bible. It talks about great examples of faith. And I decided to stay there a little bit because I want us to understand that faith is truly what we have to hold on to. In verse 11 it says, "It was by faith that Sarah, together with Abraham, was able to have a child, even though they were too old and Sarah was barren. Abraham believed that God would keep his promise." Sorry, I accidentally answered my phone and shouldn't have. Anyways, and so a whole nation came from this one man, Abraham, who was too old to have any children. A nation with so many people that, like the stars of the sky and the sand of the seashores, there was no way to count them. All of these people, we talked about Noah yesterday, we talked about Abraham and going into the land that he was promised. We talked about all of those things. All these faithful ones died without receiving what God had promised them, but they saw it from a distance and welcomed the promises of God. They agreed that they were no more than foreigners and nomads here on the earth, and obviously people who talk like that are looking forward to a country they can call their own. If they had meant the country they came from, if they had meant the country that they came from, they would have found a way back to it. But they were looking for a better place, a heavenly homeland. That is why God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he prepared a heavenly city for them. And then it goes on, it talks about Abraham offering Isaac. And then Isaac was blessed with two sons, Jacob and Esau. And it was by faith that Jacob, when he was old and dying, blessed each one of Joseph's sons and bowed in worship as he leaned on his staff. He blessed him and then he bowed in worship. And it was by faith that Joseph, when he was about to die, confidently spoke of God's bringing the people of Israel out of Egypt. He was so sure of it that he commanded them to carry his bones with them when they left. It was by faith that Moses' parents hid him for 3 months. It was by faith the people of Israel went right through the Red Sea as though it were on dry ground. There's a lot of it was by faith, but I want to get to the very end, verse 39. All of these people we have mentioned received God's approval because of their faith. They received God's approval because of their faith. Because they believed that no matter what they were looking at, no matter what that land looked like that they were going to go into, they did it anyways. No matter that Isaac was his only son and the Lord was asking him to sacrifice him, no matter, he had faith that God was going to change that. And he did. They had faith in things that they could not see, and that's what faith is. Things that we can't see. We walk by faith, not by sight. Yet none of them received all that God had promised. They didn't receive everything that God had promised. But listen to this, verse 40. "For God had far better things in mind for us that would also benefit them. For they can't receive the prize at the end of the race until we finish the race." God had far better things for them and for us. And we won't receive that prize until we finish the race. What a blessing that is to know that even in, and these people had such faith and they did exactly what God had asked them to do. And I can't imagine God saying to I'm just going to use me for example in Oilton. That's where I live. "Kelly, I want you to go march around the town of Oilton, go walk around the town of Oilton, blowing your trumpet, blowing your trumpet, blowing your trumpet, blowing your trumpet for 7 days." Everybody would think I was a lunatic. Just like they thought Noah was a lunatic. They had never seen rain like what Noah was talking about, but Noah built that ark. And you know that he was being made fun of. You know that people were walking by going, oh, there he is again out there building that, and he's using these different kinds of things that he says God told him to use. It was by faith. They understood the assignment, so to speak. And that's, there's so many videos of that, reels, TikToks, whatever you want. I understood the assignment. They understood the assignment. They understood what God was telling them to do. They understood that if they would obey and be obedient to him, that he would take care of them. Did they get everything they wanted? Absolutely not. And it says that right there. All of these people we have mentioned received God's approval because of their faith, yet none of them received all that God had promised. They receive all that God had promised. That will come. That will come when we finish this race. That's where our promise lies. Even though they went, can you imagine running up to the, because I have to use geographical to me, running up to the Cimarron River when it's flowing fast because of a heavy, heavy rain, and just, you're being chased by something and just running through it and it's dry? Can you imagine that? But that's what they did. They believed him, and they believed what he said. He said he would protect them. He said he would provide for them, and he did. How often do we doubt what God tells us to do, and we just don't do what he has us to do? Because we're afraid of what other people are going to think. I had to apologize recently to God. I said, I'm sorry, I'm not doing in my ministry what you have asked me to do because I'm afraid of somebody else's opinion. Or I'm afraid I'm going to hurt somebody else's feelings. And he was very gracious to me and said, just please do what I ask you to do. Don't worry about that. I'm going to take care of that. Don't worry about it. Just do what I've called you to do. Do it as I've called you to do it. And just move on and do what I have asked you to do. So that's what I've been trying to, I still fight that. I still fight it daily. Well, if you do that, you might upset somebody. I have to learn. If God tells me to do it, I need to do it. I just got to do it. I got to obey and have faith that he's going to take care of it. When you're in the bottom of a pit looking up, you need to be looking up because that's the only way that you're going to get out of that pit. But when you're in the bottom of that pit, quit throwing the dirt on you and start using the dirt to get you up. Use the dirt that people are throwing at you to get you up out of that pit, to build up and make you a better person. Don't look at it as a bad thing. Look at it as a stepping stone. My dad used to tell me all the time, because when we moved back to Oklahoma, it was rough. I was in culture shock. I had graduated with over 500 kids in my class. I went to a multicultural school off base. That was the first time we'd gone to school off base, or I had gone to school off base, and went to a multicultural school. And I was around a lot of people. When I moved back to Oklahoma, there weren't 500 people in my school, and I was in culture shock, and I had a struggle. I struggled a lot. And then, of course, being the new kid, and I'd been the new kid all my life. Every 2 years, I'd been the new kid. But I struggled with it a lot more because these kids were connected from the time they were in kindergarten. I was the outsider. I just felt like I just wasn't in a good place. And my dad said, sis, when they're talking about you, they're giving somebody else a break. So you're really being a blessing to someone else, even though you don't see it. I had to learn that the hard way, but that's true. And by faith, I know that he has taken care of me, and he is growing me, and he is seeing me, and he is moving me, and he is changing me, and I'm so thankful for that. But it's by faith that we have to walk. It's by faith that we have to put feet to our prayers, because sometimes we can't just pray, Lord, please do this, this, and this, and then sit in our recliner and expect him to just drop these things on it. We have to put feet to our faith. So I hope today that you will realize that By faith, you can do all things that he has asked you to do. By faith, you may not get all, you will not get, and it's plain in that. They can't receive the prize until at the end of the race, until we finish the race. So until we finish, until we are all there, we're not going to receive all that he has promised us. So I hope you have a great, great day. Men, tonight, 7 o'clock, you guys are meeting in the multipurpose building. Tomorrow we have youth, 6 and 7. And then we are having a funeral here on Saturday at 11. And then normal services on the 11th, on Sunday the 11th, just normal 9 and 11. I hope you'll come out and join us. They have been, I don't even know how to say how they've been. They've been so powerful. The messages have been on just on target. It's just been amazing, and I'm so thankful for them. I'm so thankful for Michael's obedience to hear from the Lord and preach the word, even though it may offend others. I'm so thankful that he does. I'm so thankful that he dives in deep and he gets to the root of it. He studies to make sure that he understands, and I'm thankful for that. Because when we get the word, that's where we get our strength from, is the word, from hearing the word and being a part of that worship service and feeling the Holy Spirit move. And he did move Sunday. He moved mightily. I think first service, there was a lot of people that weren't willing to allow him to move in them. Second service, people allowed him to move, and it was just good. It was so, so good. So there's nothing like being here in person. So I hope you will come and join us on Sunday. I hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy the day. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Some days it's hard when we're facing struggles and we're facing doctor's appointments or we're facing financial issues. We're facing this, we're facing that. It's hard. It is. I totally understand all of that. But we can still rejoice and be glad in it. I will praise you in the storm is one of the songs that the praise team has been singing, and that's what we got to do. We got to praise him in the storm. So I hope you guys have a great day. Hope to see you back here tomorrow. Bye.